Welcome to Property Wealth Legacy. I've been asked many questions regarding property investment. Today, in this episode, I'm going to focus on the newbies, those who are looking to buy their first private property, and also those young property investors in their 20s looking to buy their first property. One of the questions many have asked in this category is, how can I get started to buy my first investment property? This is a very important question to ask because this is your first property in your life. And the first property is a very important property to start off with. It can either be a golden egg or a rotten egg. Well, I would like to start by sharing with you the life cycle of a property investors. I will take it as having 4 stages of life cycle property investment journey. Okay, the first stage is between 25 to 35 years old. The second stage is from 35 to 45 years old. And the third stage is from 45 to 55 years old. And the fourth stage is 55 years old and beyond. So since today is pertaining to the first-time property buyers and young aspiring property investors, we're going to focus on this first stage from 25 to 25 years old. Let me share with you this broad framework strategy called PESI. All of you know Pepsi Cola? Okay, this strategy is PESI without the P in the center. Okay, PESI. The first P is plan. There is a saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? So planning is the first stage. What does planning means? You have to answer 2 questions. The first question is what? What is your first property you're going to invest in? Right? What is the quantum that you're looking into? Within your affordability, projecting 5 years, 3 to 5 years down the road. Second question to answer is how I'm going to reach that goal. E stands for earnings. Once you have established your goal, let's say your first property quantum you're aiming for costs 1.5 million. You need 25% cash or CPF down payment. That probably will be about 400,000. So I heard many times young people have been asking me, I have a fixed job and a fixed pay. How do I earn so much to afford that property? I'll say to you, earning is the least of the problem. It's how resourceful you are to reach that goal. Now let's break it down. 400,000 to down payment to buy the 1.5 million properties in 5 years' time. So earnings starts way before you reach 25 years old. Not on the day you graduate, then you start earning your first paycheck, right? Coming from my own experience, while in university in NUS, where I focus in building and real estate, me and my wife, then girlfriend, we already start earning money by being a real estate agent. Because we have a plan. In 5 years' time, when we graduate, we want to buy our first private property. So that is how we work back on every day while we are having breaks in between lectures or tutorial, we are out there meeting clients, buying and selling properties. So by the time we graduate, we have already bought our first private property in East Coast. As you're young, between this first stage of 25 years old and 35 years, I would say my advice to you is earn aggressively and as young as possible. Start young. And never wait when you graduate and start your job to start earning. Especially in today's world where technology and platforms and opportunities abound. Let me give you an example. As a student, can you teach tuition to increase your earnings and start earning income? Or what about doing Grab food, or having some side hustles, earning passive income like affiliate marketing, copywriting, digital marketing? You have known many young aspiring entrepreneurs who have started earning money and good money in their 18s and 20s. So if they can, you can too. So start off earning, thinking of ways to earn as much as possible to reach your goal. People have the capability and ability to earn a lot of money. Among my friends and colleagues I've seen over my working life, some are bankers, some earn a lot of money through investment, but they ended up still poor. Why? Because they have not saved enough money with their huge earnings capability. To save that portion of the earnings is important. So what is the proportion you should save? I would say save at least 30 to 40% of your earnings every month. Oh, that's a very good question. So looking back, when we are in our uni days, earning and savings towards our first property, me and my wife work out a budget for ourselves. We both take a fixed allowance. I take $300. She takes 500 because she's a lady. She probably need more for cosmetic, buying beautiful dresses. Yeah. And also we limit our expenses. Instead of eating in restaurant or cafe, instead of clubbing, limit to maybe once a month or once a week. You can have a coffee from the kopitiam instead of having a coffee in Starbucks, right? Straight away, you can save $4. And you multiply that by 30 days. That going on month after month can accumulate to quite a lot. So savings is a habit. It's important. But savings does not get you rich. So that brings us to the last alphabet of PESI strategy. I. Saving for investment get you rich. Investment. There are many types of investment. You have investment in stock market, investment in cryptocurrency, investment in businesses, investment in options, in forex. There's so many instruments out there for investment. But me and my wife, since university days, our focus is mainly on property investment because we reckon that during our days in real estate agencies, we met many different types of customers who are rich and wealthy. And they come from all industry backgrounds. Some of them are distributors. Some of them are entrepreneurs. Some of them are highly paid professionals, but we see one trait in them. They have been telling us the consistent message. Our biggest investment returns over the mid to long term comes from property investment. So that gives a very good clue to start off with as a young investors. Because property investment is a form of forced savings, not only just investment. And also, if you know, right, property investment is a natural hedge against inflation. And property investment got two forms of wealth creation. One, wealth creation through passive income when you get rent, when you rent out your property. Two, this I often say is the turbocharge of property investment, which is the capital appreciation down the years 20, 30, 40. In my earlier days, we've seen 300%, but I think it's hard to come by because Singapore have attained the developed status. But 50% is still possible in today's market, provided you know how and what to invest in. So, PESI, P, planning, E, earnings, S, savings, I, investment. You got it there? Start executing this strategy as young as possible, and you'll reach your goal of owning your first investment property very soon. Yeah, I'd like to share that over the years, right, I have friends who have invested in Forex, stock market, and lately the younger cousins and friends, I've seen them going from rich to Rex, investing in cryptocurrency. There's nothing wrong in investing in instruments like Forex, options, cryptocurrency. But the main difference, I would say, between these investors and property investors, long-term investors, is mindset and their psychology. The first group probably invest in this because it's faster and it's more speculative. They don't have to wait too long to get their returns. So very often their views is short term and trading mentality. And one thing, another point is property investment. You have total control. You own it. You totally own it. Unlike stocks, cryptocurrency, and forex, there's no way you can control it. You're just a tiny fish in the big wide ocean, right? Whereas property, the only one that can bankrupt you is you yourself. If you do not take care of your finance properly and you over invest, and that's what will make you bankrupt. Otherwise, for most people who are in the property investment game for mid to long term, their wealth through passive income and property gain will be much better in long term. This is my observation. I may be wrong. There may be some property stock investors or forex investors who has the right mindset of being a mid to long term investors or value investment that can similarly gain good wealth over the long term like property investors. So it's all about mindset. A short term mindset, right? For example, to come to investment, right? as we know, whatever form of investment, there is cycles, right? So if we project over 10 to 20 years, if you look at the trend of whichever form of investment, be it stock market, S&P 500, or Singapore residential properties, you look at the long term. The long term trend will be up, 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 right? But if you adopt the short term investor mindset, you'll be bound to ups and down, right? So that increase your risk of entry and exit. And the risk of entry and exits in certain cases, especially when you invest in stock options or crypto, may not be in your favor if you are highly geared and leveraged. Whereas in property investment, right, as I mentioned, the only one who bankrupt you in property investment is you yourself. If you are greedy and overstretch yourself and you didn't take care of your expenses. Otherwise, once you own the properties, it's totally under your own control. As long as you do not sell it in low market, there's no loss. We have come to the end of this episode. So in the next episode, we'll cover the topic of what should I buy? What sort of residential property should I buy? New launches, resale, and some people may ask you to go into industrial, commercial. So next episode, we'll cover this and I'll guide you on what should you buy. Because remember, your first investment property is very important because you must aim to buy a golden egg property. If you buy the first property which is a rotten egg, you'll be in for a lot of trouble. If you like today's content, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or any topics that you want me to cover, please put in the comment below. See you in next episode.